slideshow of a photo essay I did roughly 18 months ago. It was originally designed to speak for itself, and so I want you to watch this, and then afterwards I will complete my speech. So as I said when I first pulled this up, this is a photo essay I did roughly 18 months ago. It is a loose interpretation of my own story. What some of you may or may not know is that June 12, 2010, I attempted suicide. It's not something that I generally talk about because it's not something people want to hear about. But it's important for me to talk about this, not only for my own recovery, but to help other people. Suicide is not a topic that is easily addressed. There's a huge stigma surrounding it. People don't want to think about it. What people don't realize is that children as young as 5 and 6 have contemplated suicide. And I know this for a fact because my previous job, I had therapists tell me this. It affects the elderly as well, and it affects everybody in between. My guess is that everybody in this room at least one point in time has thought about ending their life, whether seriously or not. Suicide is not a coward's choice. It is not an easy decision. It is made when you have reached your breaking point and you feel like there is no other way to go, because what else is there? How else can you end the pain? How else can you end the guilt? Now, like I said, this photo essay is a loose interpretation of my own story. I've had dogs since I was a kid, growing up. When I was a teenager, we had a dog that I wanted to name Bones, and my mother refused. So it was my life's goal to get a dog and name it Bones when I was an adult. My first dog that was solely mine, I got for Christmas in 2008. And he was just a little guy. And when I met him, I realized that he wasn't going to get very big and he needed a tougher name. So he became Tiberius Bones, or T-Bone for short, so the other dogs would make fun of him. T-Bone wasn't just a dog, he was my child. I adopted him as much as I would have adopted a human child. He was my world. He got really sick in March of 2010, and I almost lost him. He had an obstruction that perforated his bowel, and it took over a month. When I came home, the vet here is the one who found it after. And he almost died then. I was lucky, I got 3 more months with him. And then one day, out of the blue, I fed him some bacon, and that night he was throwing up, his belly was on fire, and he was so sick that I didn't know what to do. I immediately called the vet, I took him in right away. And the one thing the vet would not do was give me hope that he was going to be okay. He prepared me for the possibility that his life was going to change. He may have to have a special diet, but he never really prepared me for the fact that he may not survive. Unfortunately, he didn't. On June 12th, I was sitting at home and I was watching TV, and all of a sudden, lyrics started playing over and over in my head. How will I live without you? How will I breathe without you? On a loop. So I went to the local mental health facility crisis center, seeking out help, trying to let people know that I was in distress, but I couldn't talk about it. I couldn't verbalize what I was going through. Unfortunately, somebody came out who had a past with me, told me to grow up, stop playing games, and go home, which is what I did. The next morning, I got the fateful call from the vet telling me that he had passed. And my world fell apart. It was a Sunday morning, and I was able to go to the vet's office. He was already wrapped in his shroud, and I held him, and I cried until I couldn't cry anymore. And then I had a sense of peace. Now, that may sound weird to you, but a sense of peace washed over me because I knew what I needed to do. I handed back his lifeless corpse. I went home. I took a handful of pills, chugged it with a beer that was mysteriously in my refrigerator, due to the fact I don't drink. And the plan was to go to the river where we used to hike, jump in the water, and just float away. But instead I went to PetSmart and I spoke with the manager. And in my mind, I was giving her my keys and my wallet, asking her to take care of my final affairs so my parents wouldn't have to. In reality, what happened is I apparently passed out, and that saved my life. I spent 2 days in the ICU on a ventilator, and then I was transferred to the psych unit, where I was in and out of it for the next 4 months. And this is the next part that I really want to talk about, because this is the part people do not talk about when they talk about suicide. They talk about prevention, and there are plenty of warning signs for you here to look at, which is why I looked these up. I don't want to insult your intelligence by reading them to you. But I've tried to cover some of them in my own story, like the fact that I reached out for help and people didn't take me seriously because I had a history of it. The fact that I had a sense of peace once I had made my decision. And I did feel like a burden. But the thing that I really want to emphasize to you is the most important time is not when they're in the hospital, it is when they get out of the hospital. That is when they need the most support, and I hope today you will understand that. And if you know somebody who is struggling, or you yourself who are struggling, realize that there is hope. There is help. You can call the phone number up here. You can reach out to me. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Heather.